welcome back to my lovely HP community and the 5D Collective. We're going to close on out our day with a little bit of love and kindness. So while it seems that we won't be talking about romance, we will, but we want to start first with that which romance is not. And to remember, Robert Sapolsky was determined, and so that he shares no free will. I share we do, but it's more in depth than that. If you heard our episodes on spiritual egos, science egos, and past self egos, you'll have heard of why some people basically are going to keep on what I'm going to say is living in their threat and their life threat responses. So, childhood trauma, trust breaks, trauma in general, all of it is healable to the degree. Anyone who's staying hypervigilant and in a way of projecting their adaptive child patterns of behaviors and maladaptive at this point in our human history's time is consistently just making that choice, which is why love and kindness, again, are not what masculine and feminine bring to each other when insecure mystics and people are around. And so I chose on purpose to highlight that you are not going to be in a loving relationship because they're emotionally unavailable. You're not going to be in a relationship where kindness is in the lead because their unkindness from their childhood trauma is going to come up. And that means that they're not going to take ownership of their fear of abandonment, fear of rejection, fear of this, fear of that. No, in fact, neutral and positive is seen as rejection or abandonment by people who have hypervigilant stuff going on and things that they don't tend to. They actually think that everything around them is going to fail miserably, or they keep seeking chaos and upheaval because they're waiting for the next shoe to drop because they don't get themselves out of the nervous system's maladaptive, dysregulated embodiment. Okay, so they're choosing to stay in this. That's why Robert Sapolsky talks to us about no free will. They feel comfortable in chaos in their relationships and in life. And so they're not going to be happy with a healthy self-worth, securely attached 0-1-year-old, 3-year-old. They don't want safety. They're not used to it. They actively seek to be in unsafe and hypervigilant situations. The capacity for them to love is only if they choose to completely go and get earned secure attachment. That means at the very bare minimum, be self-aware, accountable, regulate with the psychoeducation. It's very possible. Keeping themselves in check means that they choose to be a Pacha versus a Cusco, which would mean, though, that they take ownership of when they're coming at you with the adaptive child mannerisms and conversational style. So they wouldn't allow that to continue. They would actively address it. Okay, and that's where you want to understand that authentic, genuine relationships are with healing of one's own dysregulation and patterns, and that involves functional inner child adult conversations with compassion. Because if you have characterological distinctions and judgments, so you do not know how to have compassion and forgiveness, we're the 5D collective, by the way, Christ consciousness, you're not going to be in your social engagement system. You're going to be in a threat response, which isn't about you having emotions. No, it's about you being defensive. You being defensive gives my nervous system the immediate cue that you're defensive, which means that I'm not having an interaction with you. And so we're first of all, our nervous system. That's what's going to speak to me the first moment I interact with you. I already know what's going on. And because I am personally a 5D mystic in the Enlightenment Soul Age group, functional adult, words I use again to help you understand integrated brain, all of that, because Christ consciousness, oneness consciousness, okay? Not because you need to be using it as an identifier, but the restorative embodiment there, self-aware, accountable, regulating. So a person who is living this is going to be in a room with someone and interacting. I'm going to know if I got a Cusco. Doesn't mean I'm going to tell them anything about it. No, because I have no need to. I just know that I don't have a person who is loving and kind. I have a person who, yeah, they can say they love me. They can say they're being kind to me when they don't take ownership of their nervous system's threat response, of their charges, of what they're bringing to the table. It's not an actual functional inner child adult relationship. That is a secure, safe haven, secure base relationship. So for an empowered feminine, not a big deal. Because my child, she's not broken. And that's why you don't break the securely attached whole self of a person who chooses to stay loving and kind. Why? Because we don't do generalizations. We don't do stereotypes. We don't do let me drag a pain point around. Mindfully living, spiritually living, and loving people It's as easy as it gets. And mystics. So the difference here is that loving kindness are brought when we have securely attached mystics and people who are empowered feminines and masculines, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Because yes, I decided I make this short, and that way we can talk, and you can tune on in if you want, and if you don't, thanks for stopping by. Like, share, and subscribe. It'll help the channel grow, and thank you for using your lovely, wonderful time here at HP. We are here for people who want to love unconditionally, have flaws, have integrity, bring kindness, because it's all possible, because any of the unkindness from childhood trauma is healable, personality disorders healable. So there's no need for any of what ignorant and non-bilaterally integrated science egos, spiritual bypassers, pause self egos, people who want to act like they know shit but they don't. Masculines are particularly, and actually any single of those insecure feminines is going to be a masculine to an empowered feminine, because they lack the capacity to use two sides of the brain, bring forth compassion, an open heart, and actually have what is a genuine, really pleasant, and always, not just sometimes. You doing a 360 is you being like my facade friend, as I use him as a story. I don't need a lover. You're not a lover. You're just a facade of what you think you're doing. And the therapists have now made it very clear for anybody who cares to be a true version of their self what a pause self is. So again, love and kindness, they don't come with the insecure attached person. They come when they're working to get securely attached, and when they're working consistently on it with their will to heal completely, not just halfway. So anybody who doesn't want to do it all the way, again, that's their choice. We have laws, and we have politicians and stuff like that. We go vote, we do what we can, but at this point we are mental health aware, and healthy self-worth people know of these data points, because the healthy self-worth people are like, okay, we are having a good time as we breathe in the morning, and in 24 hours I'm going to keep having a good time. So yeah, humanity is not perfect, but you better bet that loving kindness exists, because it's in every person. Also, those of us who come with Jesus, God, and Holy Spirit already knew this, because that's exactly what gets told to us about our brothers and sisters. So to me, nothing's changed since I was growing up, except for now I have what I already knew as I was growing up. Unkindness and lack of an open heart is a person who suffers. It's not Lucifer, and it's not something of a monster, and our human beings aren't monsters either. They were ignorant, and we still have them, the 7 and 14 charming, who get a lot and tons of abuse. All of them do. So in the meantime, again, let's just come together, the love and kind group of securely attached, healthy self-worth lovers and people, mystics and not, because at the end of the day, it's also fun to be around smart human beings, intelligent, emotional, mental, physical, intelligent people. We have a giggle all the time, not just sometimes. I love to love, and my baby, he loves to dance, and he loves to laugh, and he loves to learn and not cast stones. So he's always, I feel good, na 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 na. That's what we're gonna talk about. He always has a surprise and a funny bone, and no, none of that humbug stuff. No. We don't need that. We already have enough of the humbugs around whenever they like to try and present to us that. But again, we'll be back with more. Have a good one if you don't come by. And again, thank you for stopping by.